Good morning. I just come on to make a little video this morning. Not my normal video, just a little short one, I think. But I just wanted to say something. Last night I heard a guy talking. I listen to spiritual stuff at night. A lot of times I don't find things that resonate, but sometimes you'll find a little gem when you're looking around. And I listened to a guy last night. He says, the inner landscape creates your outer landscape. So if you have peace, love, and kindness on the inside, you'll have peace, love, and kindness on the outside. And I guess that translates to everything else. So I'm going to use the word rich, but I don't mean millions of dollars or millions of pounds oozing out of your bank account. What I mean is you have enough to give away. To me, that's rich. So I have 3 pensions, hardly what you could call rich. But I'm not saying this for you to look at me and say, oh, wow, Kevin, you're awesome. I'm saying this, maybe you could do the same. You know, we complain about the world being a nasty place, and I am guilty of that also. Sometimes you think, what happened? But I say, if we can do a little bit, let's say each person helps 2 or 3 per day. And how can you help them? Well, you can go for when you get gas in your car or diesel in your truck, like I do, and you ask for diesel. You know, nobody tips the gas attendant, but if you give them 20 baht, they can buy a drink with that. You know, they're outside in the hot. So you give them 20 baht, 30 baht, whatever, and they can go buy a drink from 7. Bottle of water, 2 bottles of water, or 1 big iced tea. So they drink that and they feel happy that somebody give them something. You know what I think? It's when you think about this. When somebody took the time to say something nice to you, or somebody took the time to give you something that brings you joy. I like that. So if each day we can cultivate our inner garden. I like that. If we can cultivate our inner garden to keep the weeds of nasty out, but cultivate the plants to grow prosperous and give much fruits. So when our inside garden is good, our outside garden is good. When our inner peace is there, our outer peace is there. Have I arrived? I have work. You know, from where I came to where I am today, dude, I'm like on top of the mountain. But you know, if you've ever walked in the mountains, one thing you know for sure is you see a plateau, and you think, great. You get to that as you go over the edge, walking up onto the plateau. Guess what? You see another. So it never seems to end, right? And say, to give yourself happiness, look at somebody else being happy. And if you give them 20 baht, $1, a pound, you know, buy a donut and give it to your neighbor. Anything. It just doesn't have to be big. It's just small. Or just, you know, when you see them in the garden, make a point of smiling. If they're nasty and it's like playing with a scorpion. You know, I had this many times in my army days. Think about this. Good morning. What's good about it? So what does that do to your emotions? So in the end you learn, don't say nothing to that particular person, right? And if they're all like that, then just tend to your garden and leave them be. If they're a nasty neighbor, like I have some, leave them be and cultivate your inner garden. You know, I heard a study years and years and years ago that they did an experiment with, they brought in seasoned meditators. So in other words, not people who just can't focus, but people who can click the switch and fall into that slot and sit there for hours. They took meditators into cities with high crime rates, and they just let them sit there meditating in parks, go anywhere they want, library, coffee shops, things like that, right? And they just sit and meditate. So they measured, they knew the statistics from before, and then they did it for like a 2-week period, and the crime rates dropped considerably. So what does that show you? It's like the double split example in physics, that when you fire electrons at a plate through double slit, right, it produces a wave function, like a wave pattern. But if you watch it, it produces 2 lines. And you think, huh? So the energy somehow knows it's being watched. So in the same way, nobody can really explain how it all works, but it works. So when you have inner peace, you're changing the world around you. So they said, one meditator can change 100,000 people. One meditator who goes to peace in his inner garden can help bring peace to 100,000 people around him. So it took like 100 people, and they dominated a city. Amazing. So I'll close, and I'll just say to you, it's Sunday 25th of August 2025. I pray this video goes around the world, and whoever it touches, they will realize how rich they are, find their inner peace, and I sign off by saying, buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. And for today, I'm going to add love. May you feel surrounded by a presence of love and find contentment. So I'll close off now and say, buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. And for today, I'll add, may love come and squeeze you. Have a wonder-filled day. See you later.